Most stepmoms believe that staying is the goal. I don't. I believe that there's a more important goal that benefits you as well as everyone in your stepfamily, and that is staying safe. The difference between staying and staying safe is huge, because when we stay without taking care of ourselves, when we stay without growing and becoming better human beings, when we stay at the expense of our sanity, we are really giving up our precious life. And I don't think it's worth it. That can be a bit controversial. You may have found that a lot of stepmom books, a lot of stepmom videos are very tactical, and they're wonderful. And I certainly support that, and I offer a lot of tactical support as well. But really, underneath that can be this sort of unconscious message, this subliminal message that we're supposed to figure it out so that we can stay. I have a different goal in mind. My coaching, my programs, my life has taught me that in pretty much every situation in my life, staying is not as important as staying safe. I want to dive into this with you because stepmom stress is no joke. Stepmom stress takes a toll. I get moved when I talk about this because your life is so precious and it is short. Even if you live to be 98 years old and healthy and can do jumping jacks at 98, it's still too short to spend in any situation that isn't safe, that takes away your life force. Stepmom stress can be dangerous. It can play with your sense of self-esteem. We can lose our sense of who we really are because there's so much going on in a stepfamily where the stepkids or a partner are projecting onto us what's going on in them, their own pain, their own fears, their own anger, and they can sort of vomit that all over us. And if we take that on and we internalize it as stress on our self-esteem, as stress on our desire to live even, as stress on our ability to focus on our jobs or focus on our own kids or whatever we need to focus on, if we take in the stress that the stepkids and our partner and the bio mom and anybody else is putting onto us, and we take that in and internalize it, it's like acid. It's like nuclear sludge coursing through and eroding your life force. And that right there is why I do this, why I'm making these videos, why I am a stepmom coach, why I'm working on a stepmom book. I have to confess to you that most of the day, when I'm not distracted by fun or laughing or crying or focused on my work, I am thinking about you, and I'm thinking about us and how we survive stepmom stress to contribute to the world and be our best selves. So the mantra, staying is not the goal, staying safe is what got me through my second time step parenting, which is going great. And I pass it along to you. I want to share some examples. What does that mean? How do you put yourself first without destroying your stepfamily, right? The potential of it. How do you do that? I know a lot of you, but this is true for me, want to be valued. We're tired of being overlooked, right? And we value our partner, we value our stepkids, and we're trying not to overlook them, right? And we don't want to be overlooked. We want to be valued. Being an outsider in our stepfamily, maybe you feel like you're being rejected. Maybe you feel alone at home. Maybe you feel like second to your stepkid's mom or moms. And, that's normal. That's totally normal. But how you respond to that within yourself is really important. The perception you bring to that is really important. It's not easy to be at the receiving end of scapegoating, of hate, of blame, of lies. It's not easy. Of total distortions. It can be like living in a hall of mirrors. And psychically, that's not safe if we don't have the core strength within our self-esteem to hear a stepkid blame us or say, you're not my mother, you can't tell me what to do, or roll their eyes at us. We don't have any buffer because we're not the parent. We don't have any oxytocin buffer for that. If you haven't done your work on your triggers, because it's full of triggers. Being a parent is full of triggers. The eye roll from a kid hurts, no matter if you're a parent or a step parent. But when you're a stepmom and you haven't worked on your triggers and there is no oxytocin buffer, you have no bonding history, this is not your baby, you have not raised your baby from your womb and up and out, or from adoption up and out, and that buffer just is not there. Plus, it happens in the context of all the other stresses of stepfamily, right? Of already feeling like an outsider, the power imbalance. So that eye roll can be like a grenade. Do you have the resilience? Have you done the healing? Have you diffused your trauma triggers, right? What work have you already done to stay safe in your stepfamily? So that stepmom stress is this big instead of this big. How much have you already done? All right, let's look at some practical. So staying safe. This is my camper van that I call Pegasus. The Pegasus came from Medusa, like sprang from Medusa. She was cursed. Horrible things were done to her. That's the anger. That's the venom. That's the trauma. When she was released from that, Pegasus came through, this beautiful flying horse that could help win victories. Now, that is what this van is for me. This is my Pegasus. This is me being smart about staying safe, because staying is not the goal for me as a stepmom. Staying safe is. Staying safe can mean I'm going to go for a few days in the camper van, work from the van, or stay with some friends and sleep in my little nest, or as I did for the entire winter, have what I need, the environment I need for a whole winter in somewhere warm. So this is like an escape pod. It's also just a fun pod. I just also love van life. When your stepmom stress starts to grow from this to this, right? What's your escape pod? Is it a friend for a slumber party, going to their house? Is it going and having dinner for a few nights in a row with somebody else? Is it taking an art class? Is it just giving yourself a retreat and saying, hey guys, I love you so much. I'm going to go work on my book, right? I'm going to go away for a week and work on my book. What's your escape plan so that you can nourish yourself, so that you can look at where it is that you feel like you're getting depleted? What are some strategies that you can use when you re-enter? How can you be with your stepfamily in a different way? Or just take time away to diffuse the stress, even if you don't change anything else. So staying safe can look like leaving for a few hours, an evening, or an overnight, a day, or a week, however long it is. I've step-parented for 24 years now for 2 different stepfamilies, 3 kids each time. And I've read the research, I've coached the stepmoms, and I have to say that staying is not the goal, because staying at whatever cost, that's what somebody without power does. Stay safe, and it can be what brings you the most joy. And by staying safe, you can bring your stepfamily the most joy. Get creative, think out of the box. Staying doesn't have to mean sleeping with our partner every night. Staying does not have to mean living together all the time. Staying can mean sleeping with our partner all the time. Staying can mean living together all the time. If stress is growing for you, consider how you can get some space and what kind of psychological help you can get to work on your own triggers that will be there with or without stepfamily, but stepfamily will aggravate them. And we want stepfamily to be a challenge that grows you, that helps you build that muscle of being your best self. If you want to grow, if you want to prove to yourself, not that you can stay the course in a stepfamily for 40 years that's, really incredibly stressful or toxic, but instead, if you want to prove to yourself, hey, I have the discipline to build my career, to build up wealth, to have a full social life, to develop my hobbies, to be physically healthy, even when there is the stress of stepfamily in my life, right? If you can build up that muscle for tolerating that optimal amount of stress and not being so sucked into it and so distracted by it that it becomes mega stress, right? And you can be building up your life and giving your precious miracle of this life, this window of time that you have, these decades when you can really be in your power to live a full life. If you can build that muscle up while being in stepfamily and helping keep that stress level low, then my friend, that is something to be proud of. And if you choose to leave your stepfamily for short stints, longer stints, or permanently, because you knew it was the way to keep you safe and to keep them safe, I'm really proud of you for that too. Because that is brave, that is courageous. And from a neurochemical perspective, that's a huge thing to make that decision, right? We know we're going to go into significant withdrawal from all the oxytocin, the endorphins, all of it. We are going to go through huge withdrawal if we leave our partner. However, if we let it get to the breaking point where we have no choice but to leave because it's just gotten so bad, maybe it's abusive, maybe the stepmom stress has put us in the hospital, which it did for me the first time, that might be the rock bottom. And if you choose to leave after that, then I'm proud of you for that too. Be proud of yourself no matter what. Know that you're doing the best you can and stay safe. Let that be a compass, and just know that leaving permanently does not have to be your only option. You can try other things first, and you may never have to leave permanently. Our stepfamilies matter. Our stepkids, our partner, our own kids, even our in-laws. Everybody has feelings. I'm a big believer in helping everybody stay safe by doing it smart. I will see you in the next video. Stay safe.